arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes to the courtroom doors.
But Bragg, this was a case that you yourself didn't believe in your heart of hearts should have been crammed through the courtroom doors. It should not have been fed through the courtroom doors. It should not have been force-fed through the courtroom doors. Now let's hear our good Congressman, Mr. Jim Jordan, talk about a bunch of cases in New York that should have had the perps see their day in court.
First thing he did, the day one memo. 10-page policy memo to his staff instituting progressive, soft-on-crime, anti-victim policies. Felony armed robbery charges get reduced to misdemeanors. He instructed his staff, except for homicides, not to seek prison sentences for individuals. And guess what came next? Rising crime. During that first year, violent crime in Manhattan was at an all-time high. New York City saw a 23% surge in major violent crimes. In fact, we heard from some of these victims of crime at our field hearing up in New York City 13 months ago. A mother whose son's murderers were allowed to walk free because of Alvin Bragg's soft-on-crime prosecutors. A bodega owner who was violently attacked, yet Bragg's office initially charged him. And finally, a father whose son was attacked in Times Square because he was Jewish. And Bragg offered one of his assailants a sweetheart slap-on-the-wrist deal, even though he had previous run-ins with the law, showed no remorse, and was arrested while out on bail.
This isn't just a song.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
What up, my people? It's your boy MC Too Tall, keeping it real in my Dolce & Gabbana frames, styling and buck wilding just for you. I don't have to do any of this styling. I didn't have to go out and get $430 glasses frames, but I go out there and I put all my hard-earned money into this stuff just to look good for you. I do it for the fans, man. I do it for the fans. Anyway, let's get into this Alvin Bragg thing. He's a lying sack of shit. He is so full of shit, this man. This fat guy, LMAO. This was a case that was first picked up by Cyrus Vance. For those of you who don't know who Cyrus Vance is, he was Alvin Bragg's predecessor, and also the son of the late Secretary of State under Jimmy Carter. And it was first picked up by Cyrus Vance Jr., and he looked at the case and he said, there's no way we can get this. We got nothing on him. We got nothing on him. And who are we going to put up against him? Michael Cohen? This guy's a perpetual liar. We're not going to get this guy in here and drag him in and have him do what? Tell more lies? These are the words that came right out of Vance's mouth. He threw it out. They brought it up again when Alvin Bragg took over, and Alvin Bragg initially was going to throw this case out. But he had two assistants, or an assistant and an assistant to that assistant, that resigned in protest against Alvin Bragg. And there was all sorts of political heat on Alvin Bragg to pick up this case. So rather than saying fuck you and standing his ground, he would have gotten a lot of respect if he had done that. He decided to pick up the case and sick the dogs on Donald Trump to bring about a case that should not have been crammed through the courtroom doors, as I said, or force-fed through the courtroom doors, as I had mentioned. And meanwhile, cases that should have gone through those courtroom doors never did, and they never will, ever. Talking about cases in which a store owner had to protect his store, and then they arrested the store owner initially, and still didn't do the right thing by convicting the person that was robbing the store. They gave that guy a slap on the wrist, sent him on his merry way to go and rob again, possibly accelerate into more violent crimes. Like that recent incident in Connecticut where a beautiful mother of 5, starting her life anew with a new boyfriend, had her life snuffed out, and she wasn't just murdered, she was brutally attacked, stripped of her clothing, beaten, raped, sexually assaulted, brutally murdered, and then discarded like a piece of garbage by a piece of garbage. And I had mentioned that in my last video. And I sure hope that we see justice for Rachel. And Rachel's murderer should not have even been in the country. Rachel's murderer should have been in his own country serving time for the murder he committed there. This guy was a serial murderer, or became a serial murderer by murdering Rachel, but, Biden and his open border policy, blood is on his hands, as is the blood of Laken Riley and countless others who have been murdered by these illegal trespassers. Speaking of which, do you remember those 5 that ganged up on those 2 police officers in Times Square? You remember that? That was Alvin Bragg's district. And Alvin Bragg himself looked at that case and let them go. He let them go. And the result of that is them flipping the bird at the camera, proclaiming that they don't speak English. What the fuck you doing here if you can't speak the language of the land? But that's Alvin Bragg for you. It's not fair that those people could go free, but they could have a corrupt judge swing a Galvin. Have a corrupt judge swing that gavel and announce Donald Trump guilty of all these different combinations of misdemeanors that you piece it together like Legos or Micronauts and come up with a felony. That judge, Merchan, he's an asshole. And his daughter donated to the Biden campaign. He donated to so many Democratic politicians. It's a case he should not have taken because it was very partisan. If you have somebody who held political office for a political party, representing a political party that is other than that of candidates you've supported and funded in the past, there's a conflict of interest there. But, you're going to have people that won't paint Judge Merchan as a monster. They won't paint a picture of Alvin Bragg as somebody who's soft on the real criminals and hard on innocent people. Instead, they'll declare Donald Trump to be everything short of Hitler, if not Hitler himself. Here's an actress whose only claim to fame was a short-lived acting career, doing a very lousy job of playing Betty Rubble. Of course, I'm talking about Rosie O'Donnell. And here you go, okay?
My hope is that we get to continue as a democracy in this country, that we get to have elected officials representing the people as our forefathers created. And what Donald Trump is doing is trying to become an authoritarian, a dictator, and he is the worst thing that ever happened to this nation.
All right, let's pick that apart, shall we? I'll say it again. She brings up democracy. Fuck democracy. Fuck democracy. We are a republic. And stop talking about how precious democracy is. Democracy is a segue to socialism, to fascism, even Nazism, ultimately the ultimate evil of communism. Communism is more evil than fascism and Nazism. I'm not touting any advocacy for fascism or Nazism. I'm not trying to say those are great, but they are very bad steps to a much worse thing called communism. Let's agree on that. Or if we can't, I can't help you. But none of these things are to the right of normalcy, okay? All these things are to the left of normalcy. To the right of all of that is what we have. Not a democracy, a constitutional republic. She doesn't know what she's talking about again. She gets it wrong again. And I co-sign to every last thing Donald Trump has ever said about her. She is everything Donald Trump said she was. And obviously, looking at her now, it's gone to the 10th power now, hasn't it? What an evil, demonic thing she's become. But the way to avoid being chained to the lake of fire amongst the demons is to respect God and to protect their life on this earth. Watch out for the Illuminati. To learn a few things and to pick up on certain things that you might even agree with. Follow my content. Share it if you like it or not. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. As it says on the shirt, I'm MC Too Tall.
I've been trying to get to you for a long time, 'cause constantly you've been on my mind. I was thinking about a shortcut I could take, but it seems like got caught in the rush hour. Fellas started to shower you with love and affection. Now you won't look in my direction.
MC2 Tool Show, man. The MC2 Tool Show. Can't believe I've been doing this 5 years. 5 years. 5 years of doing this MC2 Tool Show, bringing out conservative talking points, and 5 years of losing friends. 5 years of people expressing that they would kill me if they met me in person. Literally, the 5 years. 5 years of people wanting, of finally coming out that there are people out there that want me dead, that know who I am and want me dead. And that's a great feeling, I tell you. It means you're doing something.